everyone, so tonight we're going to be reading Don't Blink. This was written by Amy Krauss Rosenthal. And big thank you to Scholastic for letting me share this with you. Ready? Don't blink. Don't blink. Okay, here's how it works. If you can avoid getting to the end of this book, you can avoid bedtime. Simple as that. It's a pretty sweet deal, actually. But each time you blink, you have to turn a page. Those are just the rules. So whatever you do, don't blink. Okay, maybe I wasn't clear enough. Each and every time you blink, you will have to turn a page. So I repeat, no blinking. Jeepers! You blinked again! I thought you wanted to stay awake. You do realize that each blink gets you closer to you-know-what. Try not to blink. Now I'm just plain confused. Do you want to stay up or not? Think of it this way. The opposite of blinking is staring. Try, I don't know, staring up at the ceiling. I should have suggested something more interesting. Stare at the person next to you. I guess it's not interesting enough. No offense, person. Here, stare at this picture. How many legs do you see? How many legs on the elephant do you see? As fun as that was, you obviously still blinked. So let's take this in a slightly different direction. Stare at this. Amazing, right? I don't know how it works either. So if you stare at it long enough, it actually starts to move. Kind of scary, right? Okay, the staring thing is clearly not working. Maybe squinting is the way to go. Pretend the sun is making you squint. Might that keep you from blinking? You squint really hard? Dang, you blinked again. Think how not to blink. How about using your fingers to hold your eyes open? Well, that seems to have bought you a few extra seconds, but we still need a better plan. Maybe try getting all your blinking out. Blink a whole bunch of times, super fast. Blink, 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 blink. Oh, sorry, bad idea. That made us jump ahead so many pages, it basically time traveled. Holy pillow puffs, we're dangerously close to the end. Hang on tight. The only thing I can come up with is to just close both eyes. At least then you won't be blinking and we won't have to turn the page and you avoid bedtime. So go ahead and close your eyes. Keep them nice and closed. You can think about your day. You can think about your favorite song. You can count to 1,000,000. Just whatever you do, don't blink. But if you do fall asleep, don't worry, because it will be morning again in the blink of an eye. That was a fun story. You know what? Let's go paint some baby owls. Let me show you how. Come on. Okay, so super quick, what you'll need is black and white paper, orange paper, black marker, glue, acrylic paint, pom-pom, clothespin, and a brush. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your brown paper and you're going to cut it right into a branch shape. Now I just did it by cutting kind of a Y at the end and making the other end a little thinner so we have somewhere for the owls to sit. You can make it as wide or as small as you want, but you don't want it taking up too much of the paper. You're just going to make sure, line it up. You flip it upside down and you're going to put some glue on the back. And just make sure you glue that down nice and secure. Now I used a little trick. I used a popsicle stick to help me smooth out this glue. Of course you can use your fingers or you can use glue stick. I'm just using what I had on hand. And this way it's just a little bit neater. And then you just flip it over. I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the paper. And while I was doing this, I actually realized I had a second piece of paper underneath, so we're just going to quickly get rid of that. There we go. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our black marker. This one's nice and thin. And we're just going to make some lines for the bark. These don't have to be perfect. I made little holes just so that they look like little notches in the branch. It looks a little bit more like wood. And this is the fun part. So here I have acrylic paint. I'm using Craftsmart. You can use whatever brand or whatever you have on hand. I just put it in another container just so it's a little easier. I'm going to take my pom-pom, which is pretty big. Now you can do this with your finger, just dip it in like I showed you there. The way I like to do it is clip it into a clothespin. That way it's neater, you don't get your fingers covered, and you don't also cover as much of the pom-pom. Now, important to note, when you put the pom-pom in the paint, make sure that you dab a little bit of the extra off. You want to do really nice light dabs here. Alright, so our first owl, we're just going to go up and around. Kind of like an oval shape. We're just going to kind of spread out and fill him in as we go. He does not need to be completely filled in. We want him to be very fluffy and very light. Doesn't need to be perfect. You can make them as big or as small as you want. I'm going to make 2 owls. You can make 3, you can make 1, however you want to do it. So for my bigger owl, I'm going to show you a slightly different method. Get rid of a little bit more paint on there. So this other method I'm going to show you is to outline the owl first. So I just went up and around. You can see I made 1 big owl, 1 little owl. And then I just fill it. Now this part, remember, you want to keep your dabs nice and light. You don't want too much paint on there. I did make it a little bit heavier towards the branch. Their feathers do come out around their feet when they sit down. So you can always bring those down to the branch like I did. Now remember, you want to keep it light and fluffy. If you drag the cotton ball or the pom-pom, whatever you're using, it is going to create a solid line. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to cut 2 beaks out of our orange paper. It's going to be really simple. 2 triangles. One is going to be bigger and one is going to be smaller. Now your beaks can be whatever size you want. If you made small owls, make small ones. If you made big owls, make big ones. Here I'm just testing to make sure it's a good size for my owl. That one's definitely going to be my big owl's beak. Then we just went in, cut a smaller one for our tiny owl's beak. Now I'm going to show you real quick the difference. They don't have to be perfect triangles, obviously. That one's definitely fatter, that one's pointier, and they're definitely different sizes. So you can basically just want to cut out a triangle however you want to do it. So I'm going to take some more glue. Now this step and the steps after this, I just want to tell you guys, it depends on how thick you put on that paint. If you did a nice thin layer, you can pretty much do it right away because the glue is pretty much dry. If your owls are a little fluffier or have more paint on them, you can always wait for this step till later once they dry and move on to the other painting steps that we have while your owls dry, because we are going to be drying on them and gluing some more stuff on, so we just want to make sure they're super dry before we do anything with them. So now we're just going to take our other beak and plop it right on our other little owl at the bottom. Now what I'm going to use are googly eyes because I had these, and you'll see that they're different colors. I have black ones, I have a yellow one, a green one. I'm not really sure what happened, but these are the ones I had. But if you don't have googly eyes, you don't want to use them, you can always use a marker and draw them on. You can cut out some paper and put them on there. Remember, these are your owls. Whatever you want to do with them, I'm just showing you the basics of how to go about it. So there's our first little eye. And our second one's coming up, and as you can see, mine look a little silly because they have one black eye and one yellow eye. And then on the other one, we're going to have one black eye, and I think the other eye is green. So once again, they don't have to be perfect. Your eyes can be cross-eyed, they have closed eyes, they can be sleeping. Whatever you want to do with your owls is totally up to you. One more dot of glue. And there we have it. So here's the thing. So this is the basics for this craft. You can leave your owls just like this. Or I'm going to show you some couple things that you can add to your owls. So first things first, we are going to add a moon right in the corner. Now you can do this with paper. I'm going to go back and use our pom-pom again and just do a nice big white moon right in the corner. Now this one I definitely made a little bit more solid. Let me just show you real quick. If you draw, there you go. If you wipe it, it's going to be nice and solid. So that's how you want your moon to look. That's how it'll come out. Right, so now we have our moon. Another thing you can add is actually snow or stars. Now I'm going to use a brush. You can also use a Q-tip, works really well. If you have chalk, that would work really well. If you have glitter, that could be cool. But I'm just going to very quickly go through this. And I'm going to make my snow. Now you can make these into stars. You can make it rain. Whatever you want to do, you can make leaves. So next thing we're going to do is going to take a black marker and I'm just going to draw some feet. And it's just one line with a V. And one line with an upside down V. I know it's a little hard to see. Those are my feet. I'm going to do it again on the smaller owl. Now this is also optional. I'm just going to draw out some wings, make sure it's dry. Make one curve on one side, kind of like a backward C, and a curve on the other side. And again, we do our C and our backward C, and now they have wings. And there you have it. Those are your snow owl babies. I thank you so much for joining me tonight. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. And I cannot wait to see your creativity. And again, you can do however you want. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye!